Well, after that brief interlude and a slight technical delay, we do welcome you to Langy TV for this live stream of our first game of football, MPL2 football in 3 weeks, round 12 between Manningham United and the Langwarrin Soccer Club, being played here at Park Avenue Reserve in Doncaster. Apologies for the slight delay, working through a few sound issues. That sound is coming through a bit wonky. We're working on the backup of the backup of the backup here in the audio department, but we do have live pictures and audio from the eastern suburbs of Melbourne. If you are stressing about what you've missed out on, don't worry. Nothing too significant to speak of just yet. It is still 0-0 between both sides. We've only played 10 minutes. And we'll get through. For those watching at home, we do welcome all of you who weren't able to come to the game today. And a warm welcoming as well to those 40 or 50 currently watching at the club rooms out at Lawton Park on the big screen. Hello to each and every one of you. Glad we can finally be bringing you this game. We might just take that little stoppage and play to at least, for the time being, go through the lineup that you all care about, which is the home side. Fraser McLaren is number 1, starting between the sticks. 5, Jaden Madaffrey. 8, Wayne Wallace. 9, Tom Youngs. 10, Shayana Linajad. 11, Slaven Vrenesevic. 14, Sam Orrit. 15, George Howard. 18, Lucas Portelli. 26, Rogan with George, captaining the side today in the absence of Jamie Cumming. And 33, rounding out the 11, is Marcus Holmes. It's Madaffrey picking that one up. Asks a lot of Wayne Wallace, but they complete the 1-2. Vrenesevic tried to poke that one wide to Howard. Manningham make the clearance. Langwarrin have the throw. Pass forward from Portelli, took a little nick. That's poked through well to Billy Romas, and the flag does eventually go up, much to the amusement of some Langwarrin essential support staff on the sidelines here. Tom Youngs, out to Wallace, had the overlap from Madaffrey, couldn't find him. It's McCarthy. One pushes Dylan Breslin back a few metres. Of course, Manningham, the home side today, but without much in the way of home support. That's definitely a support that they could have used, given the season they've had so far. Just the one win for the eastern suburb side, rooted at the foot of the MPL2 table. So a good chance today for Langwarrin to get 3 points on the road and keep fighting for those top 6 places. Howard, spaced across, takes a little deflection. Langwarrin will have the corner. Of course, as is the tradition, if you are watching on Langy TV, let us know where you are watching from. Unless you're one of those people watching in the club rooms, don't let me know. I already know you're there. But everyone else, keep your comments coming through. Go through the Manningham lineups as well after this corner. Towards the back post, sent by Youngs. Wallace gets the header. Lacked direction. Had a lot of altitude. They keep play alive. And speaking of altitude, Wayne Wallace sends that one into the stratosphere. It's Nardella. Hits for home in the form of Fuki Ishibashi, who's on the ball currently. Now Breslin. There's a few shouts on the other side of the pitch, decides against them all. Play stays with Manningham. Murphy nearly misplaces the pass. Well mopped up by Jean Barrero Gonzalez in the centre circle. Breslin. This little flick's cut out. Only for a moment though by Marcus Holmes. Good work from Orrit. Keep that ball in play. And the Langwarrin have a throw deep. We'll take that brief opportunity to go through the Manningham United lineup as well. The captain for today and the goalkeeper, 31, Stefan Teleski. 4, Fuki Ishibashi. 5, Nikolaios Agirakakis. 9, Billy Romas. 11, Jean Barrero Gonzalez. 12, Ned McCarthy. 13, Dan Gathercole. 14, Salvatore Accardo. 15, Thomas Murphy. 20, Anton Nardella. 33, Dylan Breslin. Finishes off that starting 11. As you can see on the sideline, a few familiar faces. Langwarrin get ready to take this throw deep. Coming away with it was Romas. Holmes was outstretched. His touch important to deny the advancing Salvatore Accardo. Now Vrenesevic. Langwarrin with a little bit of space. If they can find a clean pass. Morgan McGeorge had 2 defenders for company, and unfortunately there wasn't a lot that he could do. Chested down by Billy Romas. Didn't get the contact he would have wanted, but certainly as difficult as it has been for a season, or of a season for Manningham, Billy Romas still one to watch out for. 5 goals to his name in the NPL2 this season, and he's scored 1 in each of his last 4. So he wants to make it 5 in 5, and it's up to that Langwarrin defence to try and stop him. Romas pokes that one through, looking for Nardella. Nothing doing. Pretty even game at the present moment. We haven't had too many clear-cut chances to bring to you. But Langwarrin featuring a strong starting 11, a strong bench as well with plenty of attacking options. Luke Gallo, Isaiah Joseph, and Demir Stojlovic, those attacking options. We've got Cal Goulding and Faraz Zanouzi on the pine as well. Romas just misjudges that one. Now Orrit can try and play that one through. Good touch from Ned McCarthy. Ishibashi looks forward for Breslin. Again, he's stood up by Shan Alinejad. Slotting in at that right fullback role. Role that might have otherwise been occupied by Jeremy Minfar, who's not part of the side today. Neither is Jamie Cumming. I've been told has been given a rest ahead of the big FFA Cup clash with the Moreland Zebras this Wednesday, 7:30 at CB Smith Reserve, just in case you're interested. It seems likely that there'll be a limit on spectators for that one, but keep your eyes peeled on the socials because there may be a chance for Langy fans to watch that game in a different form. I'm sure you can guess what I'm talking about, but we'll leave it up to a little bit of mystery. It's a very strong challenge from Wayne Wallace. This is not a good one for Langwarrin because that isn't a red card, isn't a straight off offence, but it is yellow. And that's Wayne Wallace's 5th of the campaign, so he's booked himself in for a one-match holiday. But it wasn't a pretty challenge through the back of his opponent from Wayne Wallace. He may feel perhaps even lucky to still be walking around and throwing out the hand gestures to his teammates as he is currently. Salvatore Accardo, the injured party, but he looks up and prepared to continue, and so too can play. Shabashi saw that one fly over his head. Knocked his clearance into Sam Morritt though. Buys himself time, but the pressure not gone. And Warren trying to compress the space and force a turnover. Breslin launches that one up to Romus, who controls well. Given one for Gathercole to attack. Little drag back from Romus. Now it's out to Agirakakis. That's played back to Agirakakis. Can he find the cross? Goes back instead. And it's flagged offside, so a chance comes to nothing for Manningham United. As always, a shout out to our commenters on the Langy TV live stream. Richie May, great to be back watching. Great to have you back watching, Richie. Played over 20 minutes here in Doncaster. No goal as of yet. Have had some goals elsewhere in the MPL2. Werribee City and Kingston locked at 1 goal apiece. A few other games as well that will bring score updates on as the goals come through. Breslin hits flat. Akira Karkas asking the question of Anton Nardella, whose cross can only find Tom Youngs, and the corner. Dylan Breslin strides across. Gets ready to clip this one in. Ball evades everyone. There's Romus at the back post who was trying to make it look a little bit better than it was. Now Langwarrin can move forward in numbers. George Howard lost out there. The pass. Somewhat controversially. Referee Ross Clark gives the throw to the home side. Youngs lay off to Wallace. Orrit trying to find a clear opening, heads for the bylines, flicked across, and it evades all the targets in the middle. Wayne Wallace and George Howard both waiting, neither found. Youngs cuts that one back for Howard, good block from Ned McCarthy. Manningham put that into touch so that they can get some medics on the field, but certainly the best patch of play that Langwarrin have had in this opening 45. It was a nice jinking run towards the byline from Sammy Orrit. And as we get Salvatore Accardo, who was the player brought down in that challenge earlier from Wayne Wallace, receives a bit more attention. Scott Miller can be seen in the centre of the circle that was being formed by his players there. Just giving them an extra pep talk. Certainly, motivational speech is a big part of the brand for Langwarrin in season 2021. They were blasting some speech from David Goggins in the change room before I was walking around looking for the team sheet, so definitely the head gaffer sees the value in those big fire-up speeches. Langwarrin give the ball back to Manningham. Who are playing man reduced at the present moment. Portelli falls over at the crucial moment. Gather Cole has his opening snuffed out by the good defensive work of Marcus Holmes. That ball's sent up into the gods by Jaden Madafri. And actually, I said that Manningham were playing with a man reduced due to injury, but they were forced into making a sub there. So it was the injured Salvatore Accardo who was forced to take leave. And Dragan Milesevic, the number 19 for Manningham, was the player tasked with replacement. Switch of play from Alina Jad. Tom Young's being asked a lot of to try and collect that one. Nardella. Ball looks as though it had crossed over the line there. Langwarrin pick up the possession anyway. Play continues. McGeorge. Like the look of the diagonal. Decided against. Gerakakis. Nearly missed it altogether. Got enough contact to send it towards Stefan Teleski. McCarthy. Romus just missed the link up. Used his body legally in the end to keep hold of that one. Not the same thing we can say about that challenge from Jaden Madafri. Nardella with a few choice words. Off he marches, does Anton Nardella. Gerakakis sends the diagonal. Milesevic hustled and bustled to win the header. George Howard picks it up now to Youngs. He'll want to find that opening. The angle for the shot presents itself. It takes a deflection, and really that took all the sting out of it and left an easy collect for Stefan Teleski. Certainly Langwarrin showing that they can be very incisive when those transitional opportunities pop up. Interestingly, Langwarrin's usual 4-3-3 is a slightly different makeup today. Usually there's two midfielders playing defensively and screening the back four. But both Slaven Vrenesevic and Wayne Wallace taking up slightly advanced positions, leaving the defensive work to Rogan McGeorge. Ishibashi. Easily spotted with those vibrant yellow boots. Here he is again. Gather Cole drops short to receive. Pass was a little hot, especially on the artificial turf. Vrenesevic wins the header. Gerakakis. Risky one from Tuleski. And McCarthy made his stopper look good. Franesevic is being double teamed, manages to get through. That's a nice little maneuver from Jaden Madafri. He's trying hard, nearly picked it up. Romus just not on the same wavelength as his teammate Thomas Murphy there, and the mix-up forces Manningham to make the foul. The Tom Youngs to take. Hits it flat, looking for Howard at the back post. It's a good one. Holmes is trying to control. It's bouncing around in the penalty area, coming off all manner of heads. Recycled by Alinajad. Holmes rising, falling to Orrit, thought about the shot, decided against it, and it goes to Youngs, who was offside. It would have been a moot point if it had gone in. And Manningham play quickly, but not accurately. Howard. Wide to Orrit. Tried to put it through the legs of Dylan Breslin. Isn't going to happen. Said the Manningham number 33. Howard, nice little cross. It's allowed to flash across the face. Eventually, Manningham clear their lines. Langwarrin will sustain pressure. Youngs. 1, 2, 3, 4 step overs. Didn't find the shot. The deflection fell to Orrit. Langwarrin will get another corner. There must have been a double deflection there because it's not a Langwarrin corner. In fact, it's been given as a goal kick. Your guess is as good as mine, Rangi TV fans. Shout out to Kate Hull, who is watching from Canada, which is extremely impressive. And Lee Kilner as well, who says, "Good luck, boys." Thanks, Lee. Single digits left in the first 45. Franesevic being harassed by the midfielders. He just grabbed the ball in between his legs. It was unorthodox, but it was nearly quite effective from Slaven Franesevic. Had the ball planted between the two legs. He said, "It's up to you to try and get it out." Chested by Gathercole. Leaning back was Holmes, who cleared. Alinajad trying to play that ball in behind. Cut out by Ned McCarthy. Guerrero Gonzalez thinking that one forward, and Ross Clark will pull that back for the earlier infringement. Langy players with more than a bit to say about the refereeing thus far, one of whom is Jaden Mudaffri, who picks up a card for his kind words. Langwarrin set in their defensive shape. The centre back, Ned McCarthy, will send this one aloft. Holmes rose strongly. Again, it's bobbling in the penalty area. Portelli brings a sense of surety to the chance. Snuffs it out. Teleski under pressure from Youngs. Very brave stuff from the keeper in pink. Did enough. Bresselin keeps the switch in the field of play, but loses his footing. Towering there. It's Marcus Holmes. Nice little ball from Milesevic now to Nardella. He's got a Gerakakis to his right. Does push it in that path. Now a Gerakakis towards the line. The cross finds Gathercole. And can he get clean contact? There's a chance here for Manningham. And Anton Nardella opens the scoring and shows a few push-up efforts to go with the finish. It was disappointing defending from Langwarrin, allowing Gathercole to control in the box. It took a little deflection on its way through. The save was made, and Nardella had a very easy chance to poke home into an empty net after the hard work was done. Feels like that goal has just taken a little bit of the wind out of the Langwarrin sails. They'll push for an equaliser before the half. Mudaffri. Franesevic wins the throw and takes quickly. Youngs thought he had the link up sorted there with Howard, but the opposite was true. Gathercole pokes that one through. The goal scorer Nardella with an opening on the right. It's a good cross. Portelli sticks the long limb out. Could have been a lot worse for the centre back. Manningham sent that one, collected by McLaren, and launched forward for Portelli. Orrid's making the run ahead. He's a speedy man, but it's a little bit too big of a task. And, well, it wasn't necessarily one that he expected. I'm sure the goal lead will be very pleasing for Manningham manager George Karkaletsis, who's replaced the outgoing manager Steve Avliotis earlier this season, and is faced with a pretty tough task to keep Manningham from stepping down to MPL 3. But if they can hold 1-0 scorelines, they might just make the escape. Two minutes of added time in this first half being prepped by the fourth official. Now we see it go up. Risky clearance, controlled well by Orrit to Wayne Wallace. Thought about the shot, just pushed his touch a little bit wide. And Breslin comes forward. Poked well to Milicevic. Again, he's denied by Lucas Portelli. It's certainly a physically imposing centre-back pairing, Portelli and Holmes. They've been caught napping here. As Billy Roma strikes the side netting. Proved their worth aerially today, but in a couple of moments, unfortunately for Langwarrin, where the attention has been found a little bit wanting, not least the situation that allowed Anton Nardella to score the game's first and only goal so far. Ball fierce towards Tom Youngs. This is a great chance, but it's been completely spurned by the Langwarrin number 9. And that'll be the last action of the half. Football back for the Langwarrin Soccer Club, but not in the way they would have wanted so far. They trail 1-0 at the halftime interval, courtesy of a goal from Manningham's Anton Nardella. They certainly haven't been at their best, the away side, and so plenty of talking and figuring out to do for Scott Miller and his 11 as we head to the halftime break. Welcome back to live pictures from Park Avenue Reserve here in the eastern suburbs of Victoria. If you're watching on Langy TV, it is the away side, the Langwarrin Soccer Club, trailing by a margin of 1-0 to Manningham United. Anton Nardella, the goal scorer for the hosts. But 45 minutes for Langwarrin to flip the script. And going to make a change early as well. Cal Goulding has Cal Youngs. I've combined two players there. Callum Goulding has made his way on to the field at halftime in place of Wayne Wallace. So a like-for-like swap, at least where position is concerned, in midfield for Langy. If you are just joining us, it was a difficult first half for Langwarrin, where their clear-cut opportunities were at a premium for both sides. Unfortunately, it was to that point a solid Langwarrin defensive performance, undone by a bit of a brain fade from the whole back four. That one's cut out by Ned McCarthy. It's sent through to Tom Youngs, who's flagged offside by the linesman. Referee Ross Clark holds his hand aloft to signal the change. Of course, as we always do, I have to shout out the comments of our viewers on Langy TV. As Sam Warwick just ever so slightly misses that one. Shout out to Pamela McGeorge, who as always is watching from the UK. Thank you to you, Pamela. And I've been asked by Andrew Ellis to give a special shout out to the over 35s who allegedly played in an epic 9-6 game, which they won last night. Well done, over 35s. The hosts today, Manningham United, then themselves no stranger to a scoreline of that magnitude. They had a 7-4 encounter with Kingston City earlier this year. But they've scored just the one today. Westland goes short to Romas. So Barrera Gonzalez instead goes straight back to Ishibashi. McCarthy. Got to say, the young centre-back has looked very impressive today. He's bounced in and out of the senior side this season. Spent some time in the under-21s as well. Certainly promising young player with whom George Karkaletsis will be very pleased. He's got some defending to do now, though. Not anymore. In fact, Langwarrin the side with defending to do. Stan Gathercole pokes that one forward, looking for Nardella. Cut back a little bit weak, nowhere near a teammate. Much to the relief of the Langwarrin defence. Barrera Gonzalez, question of hand. Ross Clark tapping the chest to signal that's where it came off. Pitch has just picked up a bit of a bluster. The second 45, Langwarrin on neither side really playing with the wind. It's, as you can see from that attempted switch of play from Billy Romans, blowing across the pitch at the moment. Breslin was somewhat fortuitous. A good touch there from Barrera Gonzalez. Cough it up to his former teammate. Controlled well by Youngs. Jivranesevic. Langwarrin switching wings. Youngs just not getting the movement further afield that he would have liked. They're being held up at the moment, Langwarrin. Now an opening. Vranesevic trying to find the cross. It goes towards the back stick, cleared away by Dylan Breslin. Only as far as Cal Goulding, who has his shot blocked by Ned McCarthy. All right, a little bit of a heavy touch. Kept it clear of Breslin. Goulding turns, knocks forward to Orrit. The cutback. Blocked for the first corner of this second half. Langwarrin showing a good bit of energy there. They take it short. Youngs trying to find the gap. Goes safe to Orrit. Now with Goulding under pressure from Barrera Gonzalez. And they go all the way home the away side. Portelli, the flick. It's a good one for Tom Youngs. Just missed him. Nice little ball from Tom Youngs. Can he find the cutback? Little turn from Howard. Didn't bring it under control in the end. But that was a great pass to split the gap from Callum Goulding. Very bright start for the substitute so far. Youngs barged into by Ned McCarthy. His eyes roll back into the top of his head. I think he knew that one was pretty open and shut case. It's Vranesevic and Youngs who are debating. Seems as though Tom Youngs has won the argument. Although Vranesevic does like to hit them direct and from distance. Yeah, it's rolled out to Vranesevic. He'll take it on. It's low and pretty ugly in the end. Always dribbling wide of the goal. Not a bad idea for those who haven't seen too much of Slaven Vranesevic in a Langwarrin shirt, or in a different coloured shirt for that matter. Can hit them from range. It's one of the skills that he's got in the locker. Langwarrin will need to be pulling out as many skills as they can to get an equalising goal, and hopefully for the good folks watching at home and for those watching in the Lawton Park club rooms, more goals than that. Barrera Gonzalez misses that one, coughs up to Vranesevic. All right, this is good from Langwarrin, showing a lot of energy. Flicked away by Agirakakis, only as far as Vranesevic. The deflection, ugly clearance. Will end up in a corner. It was hacked away by Breslin. The United defence facing a few waves of Langy pressure. Cal Goulding went for the no-look pass there. Unfortunately, Not only did he confound his opponents, but also his teammate, who was in an offside position anyway.
Overdoing that. Overcooked it, hasn't that?
Flick on from George Howard. It was a little bit too high, not too direct. Romus thought about it from distance, had a few little feints before eventually clearing it all the way over the change rooms. Not one that he'll look back on fondly. And Manningham's number 9. It falls to Orrit. Poked back by Linajad. Moving in field. Did well to draw the defenders. And now Langwarrin have got a bit of space to attack again. It's Orrit on the right-hand side. An acrobatic clearance from Ned McCarthy abates the danger for the time being. Medaffery, little twist. McGeorge floats that one for Orrit. It's flagged offside. It was good control. Would have been ready and waiting for a volleyed effort from Cal Goulding, but for the flag raised by the linesman. Of course, plenty of spectatorless NPL 2 action happening concurrently to this. Kingston City leading 2-1 over Werribee. And Pascoe Vale with the 1-0 lead over Moreland City. Of course, I would have mentioned at this point last night's result between Moreland Zebras and Brunswick, but the game was washed out at CB Smith. Certainly been some rotten weather over the weekend, but there'll be no troubles here on the artificial surface at Park Avenue Reserve. Maybe there'll be a few troubles, mainly for Langwarrin as they try to get the goal. Continues to elude. Breslin sporting a very striking moustache. Didn't help him in that battle with George Howard. He's got more defending to do. Orrit, great looking cross. Teleski palms away. Goulding is claiming the effort took a deflection. Ross Clark believing otherwise to be the case. After they felt a little bit flat going forward in possession in the first half, did Langwarrin, but certainly a bit more verve and vigour to their front third play so far. Plenty of energy, in particular from Sam Orrit, who was being asked a lot of there by George Howard. Got another sub coming. George Howard, who leaves the field of play. We get the very officious and very legitimate Manningham Marshall giving the double thumbs up to the camera. George Howard, who's still managing a return to full fitness after that very nasty hamstring injury that he suffered earlier in the season. getting himself an early rest. And it's Luke Gallo who slots into the attack. That's his first touch. There's a Manningham throw-in. Of course, I mentioned that Slaven Vrnesevic playing against his old side from earlier this season in Manningham United. Luke Gallo played the starting game of the season for Manningham as well, before making a move to Mazenod in the state leagues. Now finds himself wearing the royal blue, or in this case, the white of Langwarrin. Again, Langy TV comment, even let us know, where are you watching from? How are you watching even? All that good stuff. Shout out to Victor, or not shout out to Victor, but shout out to the whole faithful at Lawton Park, as he's asked me to do. I've mentioned them a few times. We hope they're enjoying their time down at the club, even though there isn't football before their eyes, at least in a physical sense. And shout out to Alan, who's giving his greetings from Darwin. Romus, curled and collected by McLaren. Certainly the impetus on Langwarrin, and they're bringing the energy and suggest they can mount a comeback.
Hold him up, hold him up.
Vrnesevic exchanging with McGeorge, eventually worked wide to Medaffery. It's held up well by Anton Nardella. The little scoop looks very nice off the boot. Couldn't connect the move, unfortunately. Alright, in the corner. Back to Gallo. He hears the call of the Linajard. Tries to send that one in first time. Blocked. Now to McGeorge. Waiting for an opening. Clips that one nicely. Tom Youngs, the back heel. Doesn't find the on-rushing Orrit. It was a good stop from Thomas Murphy. Murphy again coughs that one straight up to former teammate. Portelli. Certainly the away side growing more vocal. A little bit of desperation creeping in. They don't want to lose to this Manningham side, who have got just one win to their name this season. Gallo puts it straight through the legs of Barrera Gonzalez. Wasn't going anywhere, but he got enough contact to warrant a free kick in the eyes of Ross Clark. Gallo. Linajad caught in two minds there, whether to cross or to head for home. Chose the latter option. Sprayed forward. Can Medaffery keep it in play? Does with the first time cross. And McCarthy, as he has so often today, first to receive and first to clear. All right, laying off for Goulding. Shot takes a deflection. Fell to the path of Tom Youngs. Nice little ball sprayed out to Jaden Medaffery. Was held up and coughed it up. Did Jaden Medaffery. 60 minutes played, so still plenty of time for Langwarrin, but they wouldn't want to leave their run too late. This could be the chance, though. Orrit breaking clear, floated in and just didn't get the connection that he wanted. And even from this distance, you could hear the groans of frustration as he knew that one would come to naught. Murphy skips his way around Gallo, who's applying pressure now to Dylan Breslin. Barrera Gonzalez. They managed to keep it in for a brief moment. And Billy Romas clears that onto the roof of the canteen. Sammy Orrit presents short. He's cut out by Barrera Gonzalez, who in turn lost out to Shayan Alinajad, who's earned himself a free kick and a little love tap from Dan Gathercole. Goulding. Alinajad just found on his haunches as Marcus Holmes tried to spring him forward.
Get there, get on the press. Yes, Shane, get there. How long do you
Frustrated expression on the face of Dylan Breslin as he waits for the options to present. McGeorge using his body well to stick away from Gathercole. Did well to win a contest in which he was outsized. Gallo brings down nicely. Had the overlap of Alinajad. Instead moves in field. Connects that 1-2 with Vrenesevic. And now it's pushed wide to Medaffery. Langwarrin getting numbers in the penalty area. It goes to the edge to Slaven Vrenesevic, who again pushes wide. Langwarrin switching flanks. Alinajad. Vrenesevic. Tom Young screaming for it, but yet to receive. Now he does. Heads toward the line, cuts back to Vrenesevic. And it's a crucial interception from Anton Nardella. It denies the Langy number 11 for now. Corner given to Langwarrin, who again start to turn the screws. Plenty to aim for if you're corner taker Tom Youngs. The tall frames of Portelli and Holmes are waiting at the back post. Holmes is the one who gets found. McGeorge sprays that one to Youngs. Trying to take on Breslin. Wants support, finds it in the form of Cal Goulding. Goulding, first time cross. Cut out by Ishibashi. certainly this right flank has presented a big threat, but not the equalising goal for which the away side are searching. It's a good ball. It falls to Portelli. Stabbing at it was Vranesevic, and the follow-up is put home by Luke Gallo. And the equaliser Langwarrin have been searching for has finally been found. It was a little bit ugly in its conception. Vranesevic had his shot off the post, and Gallo had the easy work to do from there. So now both sides have had a tap in to a virtually empty net either side of the half. Very important goal for Langwarrin to get it when they did. They said they didn't want to leave it too late, and they've got themselves 18 minutes of regulation time plus stoppage to push ahead. Be remiss of me, bit part statistician that I am, to not mention that that's Luke Gallo's first goal for the club. Could prove an important one, as that pass towards Dan Gathercole's overcooked. Goals at all NPL2 games happening at the moment now. North Geelong 1-0 leaders over Northcote City. Certainly the Warriors looking like a stronger proposition since their change of manager. Kingston still 2-1 ahead out in Werribee. Pascoe Vale retaining their 1-goal advantage away to Moreland City. And of course, if your stream buffered, if your phone died, if you missed out, Langwarrin have found their equalising goal here at Park Avenue Reserve, courtesy of Luke Gallo. Manningham have a second sub prepped. Langwarrin have already used 2. And now Manningham will square the ledger. Thomas Murphy leaves the field of play. Youngs stood up by McCarthy. Daniel Kilda was the player who replaced Thomas Murphy, so slotting himself straight in to the centre back position. Well, then Jed clips that one through. Orrit, slight miscontrol. Langwarrin are able to force a clearance through the double team.
Keep driving it. Go high.
And they'll continue to pile on. Gallo being told to drive by McGeorge, but ran out of real estate. McCarthy, nice little turn. Keeps it for a moment. Mandafari wins back. Certainly the game ebbing and flowing a lot more. Teleski makes the clearance. Coming back before too long. If current momentum is anything to go by, Langwarrin still have one substitution window left in the locker if they want to use it. Both Isaiah Joseph, Demir Stojlovic and Faraz Zanouzi, the potential names they could call on. Nice little ball from Alinejad, but his target in Tom Youngs was found offside, much to the frustration of the Langy number 9. Apologies if the setting sun was obscuring your vision before. It looks to have dipped behind a cloud, and you can certainly sense the slow disappearance of the sun in the rapidly declining temperature here in Doncaster. Teleski pumps that one away. Will have to get himself set for another attacking press. Tom Youngs has stayed on that side that time, but lets it roll out for a corner. Taken short, Holmes is moving towards the back stick. Instead, Langwarrin reset. Goulding. Short to Youngs, now Portelli, the centre-back, asked to cross. It's a good-looking one to Holmes, who was lining up the long leg for the first-time strike. But the chance was nipped in the bud by Dragan Milesevic. Certainly would have been a goal to savour for the big number 33. Had have made contact. Would have been centre-back setting up centre-back, which is not something you see too often. Holmes, the overhead clearance, put into a dangerous area. Missed clearance from substitute Hilda, and Langwarrin could stand to take full advantage. Youngs driving towards the penalty area, shot off the back of Hilda, who atoned for his early error. Langwarrin still pushing the pace. Dummy found a Linadad. Cross no good though. All the small bodies in the middle of the park. Floating it only really worked to the advantage of Stefan Teleski. McCarthy. Stood up in about as literal interpretation of that phrase as you can get by Cal Goulding, who did not move at all, just stood straight up and won back the ball. Seriously, has been a bit of an onslaught from Langwarrin since finding the equaliser. There hasn't been many, if any, attacking chances for Manningham in this second 45. Breslin clears up, but not out. And that leaves Gallo in with a sniff. Eventually, Breslin ends it as that ball bounces right over the broadcast box. Was all right. I might have to make a bad first touch there. Speaking of first touches, that one won't count for Sam Morris. Looking over at the Langy bench, it looks as though Demir Stojlovic might be getting a few options, or instructions rather, from Jamie Skelly for Nesevic. To Goulding. And Afri hits that one low to Vranesevic. Deflection falls kindly for Goulding, who's pushed by Billy Romas, and potentially this could be a golden opportunity for Manningham on the break. It's Anton Nardella moving forward, goes down under the challenge of Lucas Portelli, and that was a pretty open and shut case for Ross Clark.
Got it?
The attacking chances have been at a premium for the Blues, but a decent chance to snatch something from the set piece. Billy Romas, who's scored free kicks against Langwarrin before, nearly had an assist there as Nikolaos Agirakakis moved towards to connect. We'll have a corner. Will Manningham, and now Romas comes to cross to try his hand at that one. Plenty of movement, doesn't clear the first man though. Back to Breslin. The high cross looked good, but Marcus Holmes flew through the evening sky, forced the clearance. And the change, the forewarned, finally goes through. Won't be a goal against old employers for Slaven Vranesevic, but can leave the field with his head held high for a solid performance in the midfield. It's Demir Stojlovic who comes in. So a very attacking Langwarrin outfit at the moment, with Stojlovic, who regularly plays as a winger, now in the middle of the park. Nice little layoff to Orrit. Does this break for Tom Youngs? It does. He's able to bring it under control, but not without the use of a hand. Frustratingly. See, there's some of the sideline, essential sideline staff are saying. Did look a bit like he was dribbling the ball, the way he bounced it off his hand. McCarthy. Pushes that to Hilda. Sumpris knocks that forward. Dangerous in the area from Portelli. And clears away nearly. Knocks his clearance out onto the freeway. Did wonder how the back line would hold up without the key cog and the captain in the form of Jamie Cumming, but aside for one moment that I think both centre-backs would maybe rather forget, and a very solid showing. Of course, that defensive solidity be crucial, not just over the course of the season, but the FFA Cup game on Wednesday against Moreland Zebras. Stojlovic nearly kept that one in the field of play. The whisker away. Seeing a few Go Langwarrins coming through in the Facebook live stream, as this could be a chance for Orrit. The strong save from Teleski denies Orrit on the half volley. Gallo, here's the shout of man coming, heads to the line, but ran out of room.
Go on. Go on. Yes, Gallo.
You getting it done?
Manningham work it out to the far side. It's Nardella, held up by Lucas Portelli. Seriously, game moving with an end-to-end flow at present. Youngs push to Gallo. He takes on the first-time strike, and at the near post, down to his left, was Stefan Teleski, who's made 2 big saves in as many minutes. Gallo thought he could catch out the stopper with the first-time effort, and very nearly did. Swerved in the header from Stojlovic. Again, it's saved by Stefan Teleski, who's about the only thing keeping Manningham in the game at the present moment. Still, they continue to push Langwarrin. Speaking of pushes, that looked like one from Daniel Kilda. Ross Clark thought otherwise. Portelli, his touch had to be perfect, and it was. Langwarrin working hard to win those second balls, and that free kick. It's being tunnelled there was Callum Goulding. They take it quickly to Langwarrin. Ned McCarthy did his defensive job. Cleared away. McGeorge, nice little chest. Could have been forgiven for taking on the shot the way the opening fell out. Instead, it's with Youngs. Had the overlap from Mandafra instead. Heads towards Stojlovic. That save, comparatively easy one for Stefan Teleski. Langwarrin showing with their chance creation that they can find a winner. At the moment, time their enemy. We've got 2 minutes plus stoppage time to play with. So we haven't had too many lengthy stoppages in this game. I'm surprised it was any more than 2 or 3 minutes, so it does need to come quickly for Langwarrin. Stojlovic back to Goulding, tries to poke that one over the top to Gallo. Perhaps the first time shot might have been the better option, as there was a little bit too much meat on the lofted ball to the Langy winger. Given the pressure they've suffered in this game, I think Manningham will be very happy with a point. Maybe still at risk of being taken away from them though. Orrit tries to cross that one first time. It's deflected off Milesevic, who goes to ground and picks up, and gives away rather, a free kick. He knew what he was doing there. Bit of a tactical one. And it is the tall timber sauntering forward for Langwarrin, who are making another sub. Of course, they're allowed to do that because they made one of the subs at half-time, therefore not using one of their substitution windows. I've had a few changes to the rules recently. You can make 5 subs in a game, provided you do them in 3 separate windows. Halftime doesn't count as one of your allotted windows, though, so Langwarrin able to bring Isaiah Joseph onto the field in place of Sammy Orrit. Free kick hit well. Holmes was rising, but Portelli nearly had it for Langwarrin, who can't help but feel, will it come at all in this game? They've gone oh so close denied from earlier efforts by the keeper, and this time by a few centimetres worth of accuracy. Still opening for them. Youngs works his way. He's sliding. He's still allowed to win it because he did keep a hold of the ball. Can he find a shot? Unfortunately, can't even find a teammate. It was cooked. But Luke Gallo, Langwarrin, the players just getting in each other's road at the moment. McGeorge, a challenge he was forced to make, and it will go back. A golden chance for Tom Youngs goes begging. Maybe Langwarrin, concern for them is perhaps they're running out of bullets in the chamber. How many shots do they have left is the question. Good cross, cleared away by Lindenad. A good whip on it. But Langwarrin again, they move forward with the surge of numbers. That one's asking a lot of Demir Stojlovic. A little turn from Hilda. Did he use the hand there? Well, it didn't matter in the end. So the ball ended up with Teleski. Now Breslin. That's not the kind of pass that he could afford to make with the game being as it is. He was made to look good by his teammate there. He was in a heap at the moment. And we'll get some medical treatment as you can hear the referee's watch beeping, which is not a good sign for Langwarrin. Still receiving treatment is Billy Romas, currently on the turf. Medical team comes on, does a little bit of spraying. Lo and behold, Billy Romas right to continue. We'll get the throw, Langy. The concern is if it's too little too late, especially because they have to do the charitable thing and return it to Manningham after the injury. Romas enters the field of play on that left-hand side. Might have been the better option. Vasily Sumpras sent that one straight out. Can Langwarrin pull some comeback magic out of the hat? Might not be possible with the time that remains. They will come again, though. That one asking a lot of Stojlovic, who keeps it in play. Tries to work his way around Akira Karkas, but it was always a difficult task. Langwarrin, can they lock it in? Madafferty wins the header. Contesting was Portelli, or Joseph in fact, who's moved his way forward. This could be a problem for Langwarrin as Nardella denied by the outstretched leg of Lucas Portelli. He gets caught up in the forward run and turns his pass straight over. Luckily for him, centre-back compatriot Marcus Holmes was there to spare his blushes somewhat. Ross Clark says shoulder to shoulder. As McLaren pushes his teammates up the field. Joseph loses the header. McGeorge lost That one high. Head tennis not favouring anyone. And potentially Nardella. Could he steal it at the death? No, is the answer. But a very big scare for the away side. Picking up the free kick after dropping deep, Stojlovic. McLaren pushes Alinejad forward. Langwarrin numbers will get high and try and create something. And they won't be able to do it as referee Ross Clark brings it to a close here at Park Avenue Reserve. It ends on as even in the first game back from the break. Well, for Langwarrin, they did well to pull things back after a first half scare. Saw them trailing 1-0, courtesy of a goal from Anton Nardella. They worked their way back into things early in the second half. It was Luke Gallo who grabbed a goal on the rebound that put Langwarrin on course for completing the comeback and getting 3 points out in Doncaster, but it wasn't to be, as chance after chance went begging, thanks in no small part to the goalkeeping performance of Stefan Teleski in the Manningham goal. So Langwarrin head back to the southeast with just the 1 point to show for it and plenty to think about ahead of an FFA Cup competition on Wednesday night. So for now, we'll say goodbye from Doncaster, but keep your eyes peeled on the club's social media pages because there may be some live pictures and footage coming to you from CB Smith on Wednesday night. But until then, we'll say goodbye on Langy TV.